Charlie Blackmon confirmed our Coors Effect isn't real.
The Coors Effect is back in the conversation around baseball. Little Mr. Bauer has his podcast, Bauer Bytes, his YouTube channel, Bauer Bytes, and had a round table conversation with our boy Daddy Murph, Chuck Nasty, some other guy, I don't know, and Diedrich. The other guy's Rob Shaw. We just don't like to say his name here. And they were discussing, just having a conversation, which was really cool. Diedrich and Blackmon were college roommates at Georgia Tech, which I didn't know. And they Blackmon was honest about the Coors effect and how it actually affects you outside of Coors more than it does in Coors. You have to be a ball player to be able to go into Coors constantly. Like, what did he say there?
To sum it up, he says that it is a hitter's park. It benefits the hitters, which is something that we all agreed with from the start anyway. But he makes the point that an elite athlete, you're really in touch with your body. So when you leave altitude, you struggle when you're on the road because your body's just taking a toll. And altitude takes a couple weeks to get used to, but you're never there for more than a couple weeks. You're there for a week for a homestand, 2 weeks tops, and then you're on the road again, and then you're doing the whole adjustment. So he just talks about how it's such a battle on your body going back and forth.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting how he brought up the like cardio endurance part of it. That a lot of people don't really think about that. And Derek Dietrich was saying in there how like he would take the pros and cons of Coors Field just to be able to hit there more regularly. And Blackmon was just like, whatever you gain at home, you're going to lose on the road. And that just kind of sums up the massive splits that you continue to see. And also explains a lot, like a guy like DJ, how he goes to New York and both of those home and roads just kind of close in together. And there's way less adjustment. And even Trevor Bauer, how he said he pitched, I think, one game there. And he even noticed just from throwing a fastball, how much it broke differently. And it's just really cool to hear because it really kind of puts it in perspective from somebody who actually experiences it and knows what it's like. And it makes a lot of sense why pitchers often struggle there and hitters, like we suck when we go to LA right after a home stand.
It's just because what they do is people that use the Coors Effect more than they should is they say, well, the road numbers are their true hitting numbers, but they make the excellent point in that podcast that exactly what you gain at home, you lose on the road. So it's the answer's somewhere in the middle. So you're not as a lead a hitter as Coors Field might project you to be, but you're not as bad as what the road splits say you are either. So the answer's somewhere in the middle. And I think that's something that we've all said all along.
Yeah, if you want to check out the episodes about 2 or 3 episodes ago, and it's titled Coors Effect if you want to dive into it with us. We all said like the adjustment going to a pitcher's ballpark was a big deal for Coors hitters, for Rockies hitters. And now you add this extra element that we weren't aware of because we're not professional athletes, that Blackmon says you're going from altitude, a mile high, literally, to 4 stadiums that are at sea level, like Diamondbacks, San Diego, LA. Who's the other team we play?
San Francisco.
Like you have 4 teams at sea level and we're at mile high and the ball adjusts differently. So the players have to adjust differently. Like there's a reason that marathoners and these high endurance athletes come and train up in Boulder, up in Denver to make themselves better. It's one of those things that you don't really think about. And we've been Rockies fans for 23, 25 years now, probably a little bit more. I should be better versed on that. And that's not just something you hear about. So thank you to Trevor Bauer for allowing that to happen. And thank you, Chuck Nasty, for having that conversation. And thank you, Brian Shaw, for not saying anything ridiculous in that moment.
Yeah,
you still aren't good.
It's pretty interesting just because I'm a diehard Colorado fan, like through every sport. And generally, our team playing in Denver is an advantage home and away because they're constantly training there. But baseball is just totally different because you go weeks on end without coming back home and you're not like flying in for a week, training, and then going to your game. So it's just a totally different aspect that I didn't even really think about.
Yeah, it was a really fun listen to. That was my first bite of Bauer Bytes, and it was a fun listen. I appreciate it. It was cool.
Thank you for watching. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple's Podcast, or Google Podcast by looking up Blake Street Banter. Thank you.